Good Monday morning, everyone. Welcome back. It's the day after Easter, and you're tuned into the Kaiser Report one more time to hear some of the news around the world and in this nation. And we'll bring it to you, vet it, and make sure that you understand what's going on. Well, in a sad note, Pope Francis has passed away. He has celebrated his last Easter celebration on this earth, and he is gone to be with the rest of the popes in heaven, I'm sure. He was a great guy, a Jesuit priest that has risen to the top mark of pope in the Catholic Church, and his entire life was a life of pretty much humility, and did some wonderful things inside the church, which we won't go all into. But I'm sure that your prayers and our prayers here are going to not only his family, but the Catholic family all over the world that is in mourning right now for Pope Francis. And with that, we wish him Godspeed. And now the process of finding a pope replacement will get underway, I'm sure, post-haste. So we'll be interested in following the goings-on there through the week and so forth. I'm sure that he'll be laid to rest, and there'll be many, many people from all over the world going to pay their respects to Pope Francis. God bless. Well, you know, the term "when hell freezes over" is, I guess it's happened because there are people agreeing now left and right with maybe some things that Donald Trump was being maligned for, but now it's coming to fruition that maybe he was right on several of these things that he talked about. We'll take a look here.
I understand the motivation behind the tariffs. And I can tell you, here's where President Trump and I do agree. We do need to make more stuff in America. More cars and chips. More steel and ships. We do need fair trade.
Hell really did freeze over.
Trump promised that he would lower costs, in fact, on day one, but what we've seen under his reckless leadership is that costs aren't going down in America. They're going up. Inflation is going up.
Breaking moments ago, brand new numbers showing inflation fell last month, much better than expected.
So this was actually a drop of 0.1%, negative 0.1%. That's the first time we've seen that since COVID. Year over year, the annual inflation rate was at 2.4%. This was also better than expected and a 6-month low, moving in the right direction.
No. Wait. We fucked up. I want to introduce Grace Thomas. She's a local civil rights attorney. She's a Democrat. Grace?
They them pronouns, actually. Thank you.
Oh.
When hell freezes over. There you go. So that brings us to talk about what was going on the Sunday shows, and we'll get to that for a little bit. But I find it amusing that the more I read and the more I tuned into various platforms on these channels like YouTube and Rumble and Truth Social and several of the other things like Facebook and Instagram that are out there, you'll find that a lot of CGI and things of that nature were used in this proposed women astronaut deal that the rocket women, well, we know now that it wasn't as it appeared to be. Another stunt pulled by people like the Kardashians and Katy Perry, who have nothing better to do but to come up with things to promote their own ideologies and fame, such as it is. But I got together a little meme here to show you about this, and it's actually quite amusing. Take a look here.
Colonel, you better take a look at this radar.
What is it, son?
I don't know, sir, but it looks like a giant...
Dick!
Yeah?
Take a look out of starboard.
Oh my God, it looks like a huge...
Pecker!
Oh, yeah.
Wait, that's not a woodpecker. It looks like someone's...
Wang! Pay attention.
I was distracted by that enormous flying...
Willie.
Yeah.
Well, astronauts, no. They were not astronauts. They weren't anywhere near the controls of anything. And if they even did the 10-minute stint in space, when you look at the landing of the dickhead capsule that came down, when it hit that floor and the plume of dust and smoke that came out, there is no way that they were going to come running out of that capsule unscathed and not shaken up and then kiss the ground. Come on, please. That's Hollywood at its worst. And that's all I'm going to say about that now forever, because we all know the truth and we all know how it came to be and so on and so forth. And I think we need to leave the rocketry to somebody that knows what they're doing about it, and that would be Elon Musk. So God bless, but my coverage of the rocket women is coming to an end. And now for the weekend updates, as it were. It's all again about Kilmore Garcia. I know his name is not Kilmore, but it fits and it sounds right. And it's I guess they pronounce it Kilmar, but I call him Kilmore Garcia, because we all know now through the news media slippages here and there that to be a member of MS-13, which he is undoubtedly a member of, it has been proven through 17 different courts that he was a member of that, self-admitted that he was a member of a gang, and so on. The tattoos indicate everything for them. And to be a member of that particular group, I'm told that you have to murder someone. So Kilmore Garcia would like to be brought back to Maryland to his loving family, according to the senator there, who has made a total ass of himself and continues to do so with mainstream media, trying to explain like he didn't know that it was salt on the rim of a margarita. It could have been sugar. No, this guy is a liar, and it's almost outstanding. Well, let's just take a look at this piece.
Fake news.
Well, as you've heard, the breaking news of the night is that Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen has managed to visit the Maryland resident Kilmar Abrego Garcia, being held in prison in El Salvador in what the Trump administration admits was a mistake. Senator Van Hollen broke the news on Blue Sky, posting, quote, "I said my main goal of this trip was to meet with Kilmar. Tonight, I had that chance. I have called his wife, Jennifer, to pass along his message of love. I look forward to providing a full update upon my return. And of course, the president of El Salvador, in his wise guy mode, mocked the meeting with this tweet saying, Kilmar Abrego Garcia miraculously risen from the death camps and torture, now sipping margaritas with Senator Van Hollen in the tropical paradise of El Salvador. And then at 9:01 p.m. tonight, President Bukele of El Salvador added this to his tweet saying, now that he's been confirmed healthy, he gets the honor of staying in El Salvador's custody.
I got you $1. Oh, you almost had it. You gotta be quicker than that.
The photo being seen around the world. The senator who traveled to El Salvador in the hopes of bringing back a man the Trump administration kicked out of the country. They met at a hotel restaurant, and what's on the table is getting a lot of attention. Were they really drinking margaritas?
It's the photo causing an uproar today. A U.S. senator sitting down with the deported immigrant. But what are they drinking? Is it really margaritas? The president of El Salvador, who just visited the White House, posted the photo with the caption, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, miraculously risen from the death camps and torture, now sipping margaritas with Senator Van Hollen in the tropical paradise of El Salvador. The image is a stark contrast to what we've seen from the nightmare prison where Garcia is being held.
So Democrats have margaritas with MS-13.
You've got a gang-banging, human trafficking, wife-beating illegal alien, and a United States senator in a ludicrous display.
And then, after all of that, he still is putting down all this nonsense about the margaritas were placed there by somebody, but they never touched them. Their lips never touched this. They didn't do that, so on and so on. Come on. We're not buying your story anymore there, Senator. And then answer me. A question that I ask often is, why don't they fight as hard for the people who elected them to go into office and perform a job that they totally fail at almost continuously, but they'll go out and fight to the death on a hill over a convicted criminal and want to bring him back into their hometown to either murder or rob or rape or whatever more people? Why is this person elected? Why is this person a dyed-in-the-wool career politician that does nothing but help himself, and then he proudly says that it was a mission that the government paid for? Just like that of those Republicans that went to the border. Well, they went to the border to try and secure it and find out for us what was really going on during the Biden administration. They weren't down there AOC went down and tried to open the gates, but it didn't work because they put her in a spot where there was no illegal migration happening. They put her in a safe and secure place. Just like when Biden went down, they took him further away from any activity that was taking place to make you believe that the border was secure. Because he and Mayorkas and the border czar, Kamala Harris, were telling us all for the longest time that the border was closed. Yet we ended up with 20 million illegal people in the United States sucking off the teat of our government and social programs state by state that were sanctuary cities that cost them millions of dollars to house, feed, and give them cell phones so they can stay in touch with whoever wants to come in next and tell them what city to go to. We have let terrorist cells build across this nation. I still want to know where all of the Chinese men that came through the southern border that we had seen over the Biden years in their hundreds of them, all military-aged young men that were dispersed through this country and forming cells. So when the buzzer goes off, they're ready to act. And we're not doing anything about them. The senator there in Maryland doesn't want to do anything about those people, but he'll go down to a convicted criminal and grab his hands like he's their long-lost uncle, and then go on to the weekend news shows trying to make it okay. He's already made a complete ass out of himself, and maybe he does not even realize for what he has accomplished for the Democratic Party, which is to place it further down the ladder of success that they already exist in. It's a well of despair, the Democratic Party right now. They have an ongoing civil war amongst themselves, and jackasses like he and what's her name there, Jasmine Crockett and AOC, and even now Bernie Sanders, who you would think would know better, has got himself all wrapped up in this. Well, just take a look at our senator one more time here talking about the margaritas.
A transcript of some questions President Trump was asked at the White House today about what I would call Margareta Gate. I don't know if you guys have been following this, but President Bukele, after I met with Kilmar, did this tweet showing us at a table with these two glasses. So here's what happened. When I first sat down with Kilmar, we just had glasses of water on the table. I think maybe some coffee. And as we were talking, one of the government people came over and deposited two other glasses on the table with ice and I don't know if it was salt or sugar around the top, but they look like margaritas. And if you look at the one they put in front of Kilmar, it actually had a little less liquid than the one in front of me, to try to make it look, I assume, like he drank out of it. Let me just be very clear. Neither of us touched the drinks that were in front of us. And if you want to play a little Sherlock Holmes, I'll tell you how you can know that. So if you look at the video or the picture I sent out from the beginning of our meeting, you'll see there are no glasses on the table. So you'll see in later videos they are on the table. But they made a little mistake. For some people are very careful, right? If you sip out of one of those glasses, some of whatever it was, salt or sugar, would disappear. You would see a gap. There's no gap. Nobody drank any margaritas or sugar water or whatever it is. But this is a lesson into the lengths that President Bukele will do to deceive people about what's going on. And it's all.
Who really believes that he doesn't know what a margarita is made up of? You don't get to his age not knowing that. So that's an out-and-out lie. These people fabricate their own existence. And it's almost a shame that they expect us to bite down on all of the crap that they can come up with to try and discredit a sitting president and his entire cabinet over maybe it was a mistake, but they're finding out now some of these leftover bureaucrats that are sitting in the White House, the leakers, so to speak, have made decisions and put out false information in the past, and I wouldn't put it past them now to do that. Are they looking for these people inside the White House, and are they fixing the leaks here and there? I believe so. It's incredible. The Pentagon is a sieve of leaks, and now they're coming out again today on mainstream media trying to say that this Signal app was used again. But what they're neglecting to tell you is that this new incident that they're bringing up and throwing around about Pete Hegseth is way before his confirmation even took place. but yet they want to sew this into the fabric of lies that the Democratic Party is feeding you every day through mainstream media. And this is what they think is going to work. They have not learned a lesson in this last election. They have not learned a lesson from being caught in the lies. And straight up, somebody likes this, they threw up some balloons. And they lied straight up for a reason, to make you believe that we have a administration right now that is shooting from the hip, which is the furthest thing from truth. We have an active participation right now in trying to close the door on 2 full wars that are taking place across this world. And the person who has designed the idea of stopping this and getting the ceasefires in place and bringing about a peaceful settlement with not only Iran, but the Ukraine, which we know now, and if you haven't been aware, that Volodymyr Zelensky is a POS that has no intentions of wanting this thing to end, because when the Ukraine-Russian war ends, he ends, and he knows it. They're not going to reelect this guy. He's lined his pockets. He's got money stashed all over the world. He's still out begging for money, and he's putting unreasonable demands into the ceasefire so it does not work. And that is my opinion on the mess that's taking place there. But then we move to Israel and Hamas, and we see what's happening there. And we know that you cannot trust Hamas. They will not succumb to any peaceful agreement that doesn't include something big for them. And the fact that they're still holding hostages, and I believe there's still one American hostage being held, they should not be dealt with. And if you do deal with them in what they understand. And that is the harshest, most poignant retaliation that you can possibly rain on them, because that's what they understand. These people are mentally sick, and they live in the 6th century somewhere in their minds, but with AK-47s, which doesn't make it pleasant for anybody in the neighboring neighborhoods. And then we have the Houthi problem that's going on, which we answered back for the first time after they got away with this for 4 years. We rained hell on them, and it will continue as long as they fire on the shipping lanes of that area and on our naval vessels, because they have no idea of what a carrier fleet can inflict upon them and their surrounding area. Go ahead, push the button. And we have somebody in the White House now that will push back. And I believe they're learning bit by bit of the resolve of the United States government against terrorism of any type anywhere in the world, that we will not stand by and be attacked or harmed by any of these countries. And that includes Russia and China. So again, I ask you, as every day here at the Kaiser Report, please pray for our nation. Pray for the people that are in charge right now of getting our government reclaimed and back onto the constitutional pedestal that it was built on, and pray every day that he gets the help he needs. And someone has to explain to these federal appointed judges that think they can rule from their bench in Podunk and make a difference in the White House. It's not going to continue. It cannot continue. Something must be done. So I say, write and talk to your sitting congresspeople and make sure they understand that we, 77 million of us, voted for change. And not hoping change. And we're getting it, although the roadblocks are being installed all along the way by the Democratic Party and the sycophants of them and the mentally ill people in the streets that go and listen to a communist manifesto re-speak of what they would like their ideology to be in this country. We already have a constitution, and we certainly don't need the Communist Manifesto as being part of it. Bernie, AOC, you listening? Because you need to. And with that, we're going to wish you a very happy rest of this Monday. God bless you all. We'll see you back here tomorrow, Tuesday. And Kaiser and I will say, stay safe, stay strong, and stay tuned to the Kaiser Report for more information, a bit of fun, and relaxation. So with that, bye-bye now.